everybody, it's Rory from ANSgear. We've got the brand new mech frame for the Shocker era up here. We're going to go ahead and throw it on the gun. We're going to take the old one off, show you how to put it on there, and just show you how simple it is. If you've seen the installs from the the RSX or from the XLS or the AMP or anything like that, you'll see how easy those are. This is just as easy to put on, and really doesn't take much more than a couple minutes right there. And you can do it. You can do the install with one Allen key. That's all you need. But if you want to take the frame, the grips off, you're gonna need a couple other Allen keys for that. If you're looking to change like how stiff the return is and all that stuff, you're gonna need some other Allen keys. But to just physically take the frame off, put the new solenoid in, put the frame back on, one Allen key is all you need right there. So let's go ahead and open our box. We're gonna move this to the side because we're gonna use that gun in just a minute. So we've got our kit right here. Let's come in a little closer. All right, so here we go, our Shocker era. Classic conversion kit right there, compatible with the era. We've got our black dust frame, single trigger, new valve we're gonna stick in there, our grips, ASA. Does come with the ASA on there, so you don't need to switch out the ASA from your old gun. I guess you could if you had a certain color that you were looking for, you wanted to keep the color the same. You could take your old one off and put it on there. It's up to you. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to switch the frames over. You will need to take the knob, the ASA knob, off of your old one and just thread it into there. That's super simple to do. So inside here, we've got our frame right there. Everything's already installed in the frame. It is missing two parts that you will either take out of your frame that you have over there, or you can use one of them, and I'll show you what this is real quick. So here's our new solenoid. Let's go ahead and get that out. Or new valve. I really shouldn't call it a solenoid. Our new valve right there. So we'll set that down there. And then inside here also is one of the new transfer plugs that is stock in the era. So there's one of these in the marker set up right now. There's one down here, and there's also one up here. So the you could either use this one and put it in here, and then you wouldn't have to switch them back and forth. Or when you pull the frame off of the original one, the electric one, you can take the plug out and then stick it into there. I'm going to take the plug out just to show you guys how to do that, but rest assured knowing that you do have a plug in your parts kit, so you don't have to do that. But people are going to ask, well, how do I do that? Well, we're going to show you that right there. So here's our solenoid valve. Here's some O-ring replacements right there if you need to take this apart and rebuild it. Let's get our marker here off the stand. I'm going to move that up there. One thing we should probably actually talk about is doing some adjustments. If you want to adjust the activation point, there is a little screw right in there. It goes in and you can control where the activation is. We can also control how tough or hard it is to pull the trigger, how soft it is right there, by opening up the side of the grips right here. And this is the same as the other one. And then we see this spring right here and how it's latched onto this ladder kind of at the bottom right there. If we take this and unlatch it and move it down to the next setting, we can control how stiff the spring is, and then we can control how hard it is to pull the trigger, or what resistance we're going to get on the trigger right there. As we pull this, it stretches the spring up when I'm pulling the trigger right here. And so if we make the spring more taut, or we stretch the spring out, it's going to be give us more resistance when we're pulling. So if you want no resistance at all, you could take the spring completely off or move it all the way up to its highest point. If you want more resistance or a heavier pull, you can bring it further down. That's up to you. Try them all. Try all the settings. Take it off completely, put it all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom, whatever you want to do, and see how it works for you. All right, we've got our safety up at the top. Push that, just a little latch that moves back and forth like that. Super simple safety, but let's get it in. All right, I'm gonna pull the barrel off real quick because We don't need that while we're working on it. Put that over here. All right, so here we go. We've got our frame. We don't need to take the grip panels off. We don't need to take the front grip off. None of that stuff. All we need to do is get our 1/8 Allen. I'm going to unscrew the back frame screw right there. And with that out, then we can just separate that and set it over here. Now we were talking about that plug. That plug is sitting right up in the top right there. We can just go ahead and lift that out and put it into the other frame when we're ready for that. First thing we're going to do though is remove the original solenoid, so we can unplug it. We're going to grab our wiring, pull our wiring up, making sure not to damage the wiring or anyway. And then once we have our wiring out, then we can just fold the tab or the latch back, and it unlatches the solenoid, and the solenoid can come right out. Now our new one is going to go in, and on the back of the new one, there is a little bar right here. You can see that little bar sticking out. There is a notch in the manifold housing right here, and that bar is going to rest right in that notch. So all you need to do is just drop it in. Make sure it's all the way open, all as wide as it can be right there. Drop this in. Make sure that bar is resting on that little notch right there. And then we just lock it down. That's it. That's in there. When the gun airs up, this little pin right here is going to pop out. And when we pull the trigger, it's going to push against that pin. And it's going to cycle the gun for us. Simple. All right, so next, I'm going to just move the original solenoid off to the side. We want to put that plug in here. Now again, you could take the one that's already in your bag and put it in there. I'm going to show you how this one comes out. I'm grabbing underneath the O-ring. I'm not grabbing the O-ring itself. I want to make sure I don't damage that O-ring. And I'm just going to kind of wiggle it back and forth until it slides right out. You don't need any tool for that. You just kind of grab it and wiggle it. Then we're going to take it and we're going to put it in. I've already had this one in here, so I've already put a little bit of grease in there. But a little bit of grease will be fine. And then you just go ahead and push that down inside. It's going to sit there like that. We take our gun, front of the frame first, come together, and then put our screw in. It should just slot together super simple. We don't need to push on it or anything like that. If it doesn't look like it's going together, doesn't feel like it's going together, please stop, back up, and then take it apart and see what's going on. Unscrew our cap out of our original ASA. Put it into the new one. Push it in and thread it in. And that's it. That's the install. It's so simple to put that together. Super easy. We've got some video of us shooting this thing outside. Nice thing about the box that the Mech frame comes in is it will accommodate the original frame. So we can just drop that right down inside there. And now you've got a nice, safe, protected place for your original frame. You take your original solenoid, put it in that little baggie with your spare parts, and then kind of roll it up, and then that can go right down in that little place too. So you've got a place for your old parts, you got your gun ready to go with your new parts, and it's super simple. So you guys have some fun with it. So that's the install for the brand new Mech frame for the Era. Simple to do, easy to put in, fun to play with. These things are a blast. Get yours today at ANSgear.com. We're outside with the brand new Mech frame on the Era. We've got blasting this thing out of there. If you have an Era and you're looking to switch it out, well, now you can put the Mech frame on there and get your electric gun shooting just mechanical. So if you're playing in Mech tournaments or you just want to get out there and not shoot as much paint, you can throw the Mech frame on the gun and be out there just shooting semi-auto. Now the trigger is adjustable. There's all sorts of stuff. You can check out the video we're going to do for this and see the insides of it and how to install it and all that stuff. It's very, very simple, just like the other Mech frames, but it's real fun to shoot. You can actually almost get two fingers there and walk that trigger Not a lot of space, but you can get them in there and kind of play with it a little bit. But it shoots awesome, super smooth, super soft. If you're looking for a Mech trigger, check this one out. Mech triggers for the era in stock at ANSgear.com.